have some beef with you, Jason.
Oh shit! What did I do?
I was so I went before this. I was in my garage looking through all my yearbooks. And I was like, oh, Jason totally signed my yearbook.
Did I not sign or did I sign it?
You did not sign it. You didn't sign it. And I then remembered how crushed I was that you didn't sign it because I had a massive crush on you.
Whoa. Oh, shit.
Because you were a senior, I was a junior. And
we had friends in common.
We did.
We have a lot of friends in common.
We ran in the same circles a little bit. Yeah.
On that note of Jason being a meanie, coming at you live all the way from the lower bottoms of West Oakland, California. Sound waves. And also, this episode will be called Jason's a Dick.
I forgive you.
You know what?
If
it makes you feel any better.
50 years ago.
Signing yearbooks for me, and I can't remember this, was very, very nerve-wracking because I remember I feel like the girls would always have like these really long, drawn-out things that they would say on people's yearbook. Mm-hmm. And I would always feel really bad because I couldn't think of anything to say. And you don't want to say, have a nice summer because we're a year apart. I remember that. So I'm a senior going off to do nothing. And I would always get like nervous around people to sign their yearbook. And I think I probably wrote, have a nice summer, almost as a joke because like I don't have shit to say.
See, I just thought it was because you were way too cool to sign my yearbook. And
Never
that just made me like crush even more. It was the worst.
A lot of things, but too cool is like not one of them. You know, and okay. So to that point of me being too cool, it all comes full circle. So our guest today is, I'm going to say your whole name.
Oh, Jesus. Do we have
Because you have to say her whole name, because once you Google it, a whole bunch of shit comes up.
Yeah.
We have today Nora Barrows-Friedman.
Woo, nice.
Author, radio show host, activist, fucking mom, badass, world traveler, musician. Did I mention badass?
Thanks.
Anyway, so Nora is, how do I say it? I don't want to say a Palestine activist. You are a...
No, I don't actually consider myself an activist at all. I have been a journalist focusing on Palestinian human rights issues for almost 20 years. And for the last 10 years, I've been an associate editor at the Electronic Intifada, which is like the premier English language independent news hub for all things Palestine related.
Now, someone has a show called the Intifada, but that has nothing to do with
No, they stole our title. I think it's called the Antifada.
The Antifada.
Yeah,
that has nothing to do with you.
No.
So F those people.
No, actually, no, they're pretty good. I like them. I listen to them sometimes.
I've been following you for some time.
Yikes.
And your activism because we are friends through social media.
That's right.
And it is through you that I've learned quite a bit. You and Abby Martin.
Who I just interviewed a couple days ago, actually. She'll be on my podcast on the Electronic Intifada.
See?
Yeah.
Fucking... So this is why... Okay, so Abby Martin has something to do with this. So... Fucking Nora. So I'm following this woman from afar. I just want to... I'm so blown away by your radio voice and your radio persona, the way you handle it. I love it.
Thank you.
I'm like, why is she not on NPR?
Oh, my God. So many reasons why. I fucking hate NPR.
Political reasons?
Yes, absolutely.
Fair enough.
It's basically Fox News with, like, better vocabulary.
You would go all the way and say Fox News? I would say
yeah.
CNN.
Even worse. I mean, and I just get like incensed, especially when they talk about foreign policy, because they are incredibly pro-war and masked in this like very, liberal veneer, and it just
that's why I say CNN. I mean, CNN does the same thing.
That's an
MSNBC.
Yeah,
they do the same thing. But anyway, following you. I'll even call myself out. I'm trying to send you fucking music. I'm like, I want to be part of anything you do. Because I think it's so fucking rad.
Thanks. It makes up for the yearbook.
I'm trying to get to the point where you fucking... I was nervous talking. So I was with my son, and we were walking through San Francisco, and we went to Abby Martin's showing of Gaza. Is it Gaza Fights for Freedom?
Gaza Fights for Freedom, yeah.
We go, we pay our money to go. We roll up to the balcony where they're seating us, and and the kid's cool. And I look over there, and I'm like, it's Nora.
Aww.
And I'm trying to get your attention, but you know, you're just too cool. She's too cool. Because she's got the smart person. She's sitting there, and she's like, because the movie hadn't started yet. Abby Martin was still talking.
Oh, yeah.
And Abby Martin had walked up our aisle, actually. And I was like, wow, she's a lot taller than I thought.
Yeah, she's gorgeous.
And my son was still cool. And then once the lights went out, the little dude kind of lost it. And we had to leave. And I was trying to get your attention. And I was like,
so sad. I was there with my kid, too.
I saw.
Yep.
I saw you was there with your daughter because she's your twin.
Basically, yes.
And so I saw little Nora and regular size Nora. And
That's
like,
my daughter.
I was like, oh, shit. I was like, it's Nora. Nora did not see me.
Aw, Jason.
Did not see me. I was so crushed.
I'm sorry. See, it does come full circle.
And it comes full circle.
Sure
see?
does.
So you are officially the too cool kid.
Oh, my God. I've never wanted anything more.
Nora is... So I'm over here trying to do a little bit of homework. I remember when you wrote your book because you were doing I don't want to say meet and greet. I'm so in the music world. I want to say meet and greet.
Yeah, kind of. A book event. Signing.
Was it a signing or was it a talking thing?
Both. Yeah.
Because in
More
a meet and
talking
greet, you're
than
never going to
signing.
talk. You're going to sit there and be like, yeah, I know I'm cool.
Did you
That's how
read?
it
Did you
goes.
read from the book?
I think I did. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like book reading? I don't know.
Yeah, book reading. Yes, exactly.
It's your teachings, the teachings of the Honorable Nora Barrows-Friedman.
Oh, my God.
that I was yelling at him, Alex, about Israel and Palestine.
Awesome.
We were having a conversation about possibly playing Israel, and I was like, nope, won't play there.
Good job. Thank you. Yes.
And
Tell us why you won't play there.
because Nora told me not to.
Yeah, but more than that. Who else told you not to?
A bigger conversation had started because Chris Rock was going to play there. And you got a guy that's going to be here a little bit later who was here last week, Chris Riggins, on the horn, and it became a big conversation on social media about not getting Chris Rock to play there.
Yeah.
And Chris wasn't really playing devil's advocate. He was saying these guys, aren't as up on the bookings like you think they are. They literally just show up, and they don't really have an understanding of the political unrest that goes on in these places because it's not in their sphere of understanding, and he's going to show up where the paycheck is, and we don't really know.
Most Americans don't know.
No.
What goes on over there? Yeah.
I mean, yeah.
Of course. They don't know there's an international picket line.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's what our job is.
I mean, finding out about the conditions of how Palestinians are treated. It's pretty much like an open-air prison. And to kind of bring it home for the average listener that just goes, well, that's them, that's not me.
Right.
A good friend of mine actually was coming down here to talk about renting a room with the owner, and because we have the encampment across the street, which actually used to look worse.
Yeah.
He goes, this looks like Palestine.
Yep.
That was the first thing he said. He goes, this reminds me of Palestine. Like this, he was like, this is kind of rough. I don't know if I really want to come here. So with that, as Alex said, I don't think a lot of people know. Yeah. Alex took his, I want to say holy trip, but it's not a holy trip.
I went on Birthright.
Yes.
And even after Birthright, I mean, I didn't know any of that stuff. It was, it was fun. It was awesome. Right. It was fun. It was a party, but they didn't tell us any of that stuff. No,
they make a deliberate point to shield you very, very carefully from anything that resembles real facts on the ground there. Yeah.
Totally.
Yikes. When'd you go?
I was 20. I was 26. So, and I'm 34 now.
Yeah.
So.
It's a propaganda trip.
Absolutely.
It is, yeah.
Listening to Max Blumenthal talk about his trip there.
But, and you kind of know that when you go, but you don't really know why. You're like, oh, they just like want all the Jews to move here and
like have sex with the soldiers that are accompanying
which
the
happened.
Yeah.
Which not me, but that definitely happened.
Well, there's female soldiers.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty disgusting.
And the soldiers are kind of like whores?
No, they're just young people who also want to fuck.
Yep.
Does it feel a little
empowered by being settlers in someone else's country and having guns and access and power?
Is that why they're so pushy at the mall?
Israelis in general.
When I found that out, that they're the ones that sell the Dead Sea skin shit in the middle of the mall.
Oh yeah,
the kiosks.
with the resources that they've stolen from Palestinians. Yeah.
Do you want to? So I did want to get you on here to kind of give a very basic. Mm-hmm. We don't have to get scholarly in depth because we're talking to a lot of people that don't know the history of Zionism.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And the founding of Israel.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm a Jew who's been to Israel, and I don't know shit. I'll admit it. I don't know anything.
But you have like a basic grasp of like.
Not really.
No.
I mean.
Like, were you told? I'm so interested in this. I'm also Jewish.
Yeah.
And I grew up very culturally Jewish, not very religiously Jewish. But from a very early age, my mom was like, we have no right to inflict pain and suffering on another people. There's
Considering.
no right. And like, why do we get like an extra state that we could go to anytime, just because of who we are? Mm-hmm. We can show up at the border of Tel Aviv and they'll let us in and they'll give us citizenship. Meanwhile, my friend who happens to be Palestinian can never go back because he's the wrong race, the wrong nationality, the wrong religion.
Yeah.
She was like, as a Jew, I want no part of that. And so that's kind of the environment I grew up in. So, very anti-Zionist, not just non-Zionist. We were like super anti-Zionist.
That's amazing because I've never heard that before.
Yeah, no,
Bay Area.
Well, yeah.
I mean, coming from a Jewish person, like that's not something you ever hear.
Yeah,
we're always told that Israel is a very special place.
Right. And
well, it's still a special place to a point, right?
And it is.
Oh, it's a beautiful place, but it's someone else's place.
Any of that stuff.
Yeah. Right. Exactly.
So.
Right, and
we're just totally ignorant to it. I don't know anything. Yeah.
Right. So, Zionism as a concept is an inherently racist one. It's a national ideology of the state of Israel, which predicates, basically like Jews have an inherent entitlement to this land, and anyone who's not Jewish is not allowed to be there and must leave. And the reasoning they say, well, because it's because God is a real estate agent basically, and like gave us the entitlement to this land.
Location, location.
Yeah, basically. But what it really is, like that the early Zionists in the late 19th century were atheists. They were secular Jews from Western Europe, and they kind of saw an opportunity as like European colonial powers were going around the world dividing up other people's land for themselves. Early Zionists were like, hey, we kind of want in on that too, and so they basically, in my view and in the view of many historians, Palestinians and Jews alike, they exploited Judaism in order to use it as a cudgel to wipe Palestinians off their land eventually, which is what they did in 1947 and 1948. 750,000, 800,000 people, by most accounts, were pushed off their land by Zionist militias and turned into refugees in their own land. Some Palestinians went to Gaza, some went to what's now the West Bank, others went to Syria, Jordan, Lebanon, and across the world. Here in North America too, and the Zionists, gave Jewish immigrants literally people's homes. I mean, there are accounts of young Jewish families who had gone through the horrors of the Holocaust, who showed up, in Jerusalem or in Haifa or Bethlehem, or not Bethlehem, sorry, in Nazareth, and were given the keys to a home that still had furniture, clothing, sometimes food on the table. But they were also told that Palestinians weren't really humans, that they left on their own. Don't worry about them. You're the chosen people here. This is your country now. So people with a lot of trauma from the Holocaust and, everything that happened in World War II and before all the pogroms in Eastern Europe, they're like, just they wanted a safe place. That's totally understandable. But they were given someone else's property. And so now 72 years later, 73 years almost, Palestinians are still languishing in refugee camps in places like Bethlehem and elsewhere in the West Bank and in the Gaza Strip and in these various refugee camps in Lebanon, Syria, and Jordan. They have, many Palestinians who I've met, the older generation still have the actual deeds to their homes and properties and the actual keys to their houses, which are long gone.
Wow.
But it is their right, as the UN has ratified every year since 1949, it is their right to be able to return back to their homes. And Israel, with its state ideology as Zionism, has not allowed Palestinians to do that. So
now,
that's the simple history.
Now, thank you for that brief history on something that is hard to make brief, and you did that extremely well. So thank you. Another thing I want to ask you, so to that point of now we kind of have a basic understanding of the history between Israel and Palestine. And in the news, you hear people say things about Israel, and immediately any critique of Israel, you are called an anti-Semite. Even Bernie Sanders, who's literally Jewish, is called an anti-Semite for his critique of AIPAC. And Israel. Ilhan Omar caught a ton of flack to the point of, and this broke my heart, you can watch Law and Order as much as me, but you cannot watch it more than me. Law and Order SVU.
I'll trust you.
Right? Like, I love that show to a fault. And I always had some problems with it, and then I read New Jim Crow, and Michelle Alexander really calls that show out.
Oh, yeah.
And it kind of made it even harder to watch.
Yeah.
But there's still some episodes. But they had an Ilhan Omar-esque episode where there was a city council person who wore the hijab and who talked about Israel. And she was attacked, and she didn't know who did. It's SVU, so someone's got to get raped. Right. And so she got attacked, and she blamed these Jewish kids. They're like, well, we don't like her because she spews all this hatred. And in the whole episode, they literally never confront what she's saying about Israel. Of course not. No. And they actually end up making her to be...
that's such propaganda.
It was definitely on some propaganda shit, because they made her out to be this kind of attention-seeking shit starter.
Oh, my God.
And that's kind of the problem. Like, you know what? The more I watch shows like that, the more you watch cop shows and shit like that, the more you see, like, the media is always these scummy bad guys. Like, the press is here. Get them out of here.
Right.
They just want a story. And or community activists are like, it's a troublemaker. It's the black priest troublemaker. He just wants to do black priest shit. Stir up trouble with the niggas. And
yikes.
And so when I watched that episode, it really, really hit home for me, because I'm like, you know what? I like Ilhan Omar. I like a lot of the things that she says.
She's incredible.
And it sucks that when you critique Israel, you are called an anti-Semite, because there's a huge difference.
Oh, yeah.
Between critiquing Israel and hating Jews.
That's right. Right. And what the Israel lobby has done in order to shield Israel from any and all criticism is to conflate criticism of Israel with anti-Semitism. That's their whole like strategy, and it has been for a long time. In the past 5 to 10 years, it's ramped up even more. Where now we have Trump issuing an executive order just a couple months ago, basically saying exactly what Israel lobby groups wanted him to say, but couldn't get passed through legislation because of that pesky little free speech issue. But what his executive order says is that essentially any criticism of Israel is an attack on Jewish people in America. And therefore, if students on campus happen to, let's say, hold a bake sale, to raise awareness about Palestinian refugees, or attacks on Gaza, or the fact that Palestinians don't have water in the West Bank, or the fact that Israel detains, interrogates, and tortures Palestinian children, they could be interrogated by the government, the U.S. federal government, for this act, for having events like this, for even just forming a chapter of Students for Justice in Palestine, which is a national organization.
Do you feel like, because we grew up, everybody in this room, probably with the exception of Alex, you might be too young to remember the pushback of South Africa.
Yeah.
And apartheid South Africa, and we were getting images sent to us.
Oh yeah.
And I actually wanted to ask you about this. I don't see, apartheid South Africa was pretty powerful, but there were still movies coming out during that time that was showing us the atrocities that were going on for generations there. You had, there was a Mandela HBO movie. You had the Steve Biko movie that Denzel was in. Yeah. He should have got an Oscar for. So there were stories coming out, these huge Hollywood productions that were showing you truly how dehumanizing apartheid was. Artists had got together to do that song, I'm Not Gonna Play Sun City, if you remember that.
That's right.
Bunch of big name artists. And this is all off, like, I just remember this from the 80s.
Of course. It was huge.
The BDS movement is starting to gain some steam, and you said you interviewed Abby Martin. The last time I saw her on the news, it wasn't unfortunately promoting her very, very good documentary, but was defending her lawsuit against, was it the state or is it just the school?
The state of Georgia.
Because they told her she had to sign
a loyalty oath.
But the first time I heard about that, I want to say it was either a year or two ago. Democracy Now! Did a thing about a woman that was a teacher.
Bahia Amawi in Texas.
Texas, that had to sign, or did she not realize she had signed it?
I believe she did not sign it, and so she was okay. So let me back up.
Okay.
What you're talking about are the anti-BDS laws, or measures that are on the books in now 28 states. So that's
New York being one of them.
And California being another.
That's so crazy.
Yeah. So the California one is watered down.
And BDS is
boycott, divestment, and sanctions. So the BDS movement is modeled after the anti-apartheid movement in South Africa. The demands from the anti-apartheid activists there were to boycott, divest from, and sanction South Africa, apartheid South Africa. This was a call by civil society in South Africa, who said, if you want to help us dismantle apartheid, you need to not buy any South African products. We need to divest from any, like pensions, investments that are involved in propping up South Africa's economy, and you need to sanction South Africa on the international political scale. And that was, it was. You mentioned Sun City, that was huge.
The resort,
right? So now, decades later, the Palestinians in 2005, Palestinian civil society, more than, I think, 180 different civil society groups in occupied Palestine came together and said, we want to begin a BDS movement of our own, modeled on the South African style of of boycotts and using boycotts as a way to show international solidarity, symbolically. Like, I won't buy Sabra hummus, for example, because Sabra is a company that is owned by the Strauss Group, and the Strauss Group gives money to the Israeli military, for example.
Crazy.
That sucks to know that, because I love that hummus.
But you know what? Hummus is super easy to make. It's super cheap, and it tastes so much better. Sabra also, they have listeria issues every now and then, so don't buy that shit.
Okay.
But also
That's why you're sick, dude. All the Sabra hummus.
Right? But also, you can choose not to buy Hewlett-Packard products, like printers and whatever. Because Hewlett-Packard provides equipment, surveillance equipment, technology to the Israeli military, along the checkpoints. There are more than 500 checkpoints around the West Bank.
Do they have facial recognition software that they're using there?
Yes, they do. And they use it. They use Palestinians as laboratory subjects to test out these new technologies, new weapons, new forms of tear gas.
Policing.
And policing.
Modern day policing here.
Right.
What was the quote King had about when crimes go on in other countries? It's affecting us here, and definitely you can say the same thing about a place like Palestine.
Oh yeah.
Definitely the way that we look at urban policing today, the way police look in urban areas with the Kevlar vests and the semi-automatic guns to pull you over for a traffic stop.
That's right.
Is analogous to the way policing is handled in Palestine.
It's not just symbolic. It's actually literal connections.
Yeah.
So, the OPD, for example, or San Jose Police Department, all of these, the Ferguson Police Department, Baltimore Police Departments, they all have gone to these intensive so-called counterterrorism trainings in Jordan, run by Israeli military and police personnel. So they're really they're working together. NYPD has a satellite office in Tel Aviv, right? So these modes of policing, mostly brown and black indigenous people, is the same. We see it in Ferguson when they had the MRAPs and the armored police and the riot cops and shooting tear gas. That same exact tear gas is sold to the Israeli military as well. And so all of that is happening, and yet there's this huge solidarity movement. The people, involving themselves in the boycott, divestment, and sanctions movement. We had, speaking of Ferguson, when people were getting tear gassed in Ferguson, Palestinians on Twitter started telling the protesters how to deal with it. How to mitigate the effects of tear gas, because it's exactly the same formula.
And didn't Black Lives Matter, was it 3 years ago, go to Palestine in an act of solidarity?
That's right. Yeah, the Dream Defenders have regular delegations over to Palestine. It's beautiful. When I was there, actually, in August, last August, a Dream Defenders delegation was there, and I was very excited to finally meet Mark Lamont Hill, who was...
Oh, you met dude. Did he lose his job over that?
He lost one job. Sorry, I'm getting over
Speech
a cold.
impediment?
Yeah, I'm just so choked up
Both
thinking
of you
about
guys
Mark
have
Lamont
cold?
Hill.
Yeah,
I'm going to go get Chris Riggins. There's blackness in here to offset all this Jew sickness.
Did you have the flu as well?
No, I haven't had any other symptoms other than this scratchy throat.
Oh my God!
You had the flu?
It was so bad.
Did you get the flu
destroyed.
shot?
No.
Okay. See, I got the flu shot.
But you know what? One year I got the flu shot and I still got the flu.
Exactly.
So
that's what happens. It's
I
the
just
worst.
decided to stop taking the flu shot.
Yeah. Yeah, it sucks.
But yeah, it was bad, and I everything was sore. My hands were sore.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Yuck.
Anyway, so Jason is bringing in Chris Riggins.
Chris.
Who was on our last episode.
Hi, Chrissy.
Hi, Tiny Love.
Come on up here, guys.
Hi, Tiny.
He's one of my only friends that I can actually look eye to eye with.
That's
Have you ever seen the KMEO couch picture?
Oh, the cameo couch
Come on up,
picture.
man. We're rolling.
He's about to go smoke.
Oh.
1995. Me and Chris Riggins were sleeping on the couch in the Jock Lounge at KMEL.
It was a love scene.
Did you work for the radio for 94.9 too?
No. I just worked for KMEL for a while.
So at our high school, I feel like all the kids I'm a year older than Chris Riggins and Nora. All those kids work for the radio. Oliver Nahad.
Yep. Yeah, he did.
Who actually has gone on to have a fantabulous life.
A poker
Oliver
guy
is a World
ESPN?
Series of poker. I don't know if he's a champion. I know he hosted the show for a few years.
It's crazy.
Then he had a show on the HLN network.
No.
He gave like a TED Talk.
Oh my God, I love it.
Like Oliver, yeah. So I
it.
ran into Oliver when I was working for Yo Gabba Gabba.
You worked for Yo Gabba Gabba?
That I did.
What did you do for them?
I worked for a sponsor. My ex and I worked for a sponsor, so we were on the tour.
Wow.
So
you played music?
No.
No?
We just worked for a sponsor. We just made sure that everything went right for the
Oh my God.
VIP after party where all the famous people brought their kids. So we
That's
just
so
got
exciting.
to meet famous people. Yeah. That was like it.
Well, me and Chris met some famous people at KMEL.
So this is 95. Did you meet Keith Sweat?
No, but we met Warren G, who hit on my best friend.
From Albany?
Remember that? Mm-hmm.
Who? Heather?
Heather. How did you know?
Heather
Baker Thrift.
I don't know what she looks like now. She was a very attractive young lady.
Oh,
that was your best friend.
That
Yeah, I
was my
forgot
best
Heather was your best friend.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait a minute, Heather. Oh shit, Heather.
Heather.
You know what? Let's stop
miss
calling people's
Heather.
names out. We got our
I
whole
know.
Christian name
Yes.
on there. People
Exactly.
Googling it. Who is this hot woman these motherfuckers is talking about?
You can edit that out, right?
Damn.
Yeah. Maybe Heather
Good, we're
wouldn't
gonna
want
have
me
to start
talking
beeping
about
names.
being
She's
hit on by
Carmely.
Warren G. No,
I-
but like E40 and Snoop. Were you there when Snoop was there, Chris? Oh, he left.
He's
left.
out of here.
Yeah.
Chris is coming back for the special bitter end content.
I met Shaggy once. That was fun. Coolio.
I met Shaggy.
Yeah.
I've
Slick
never met
Rick, I met
Coolio.
him. That was
Did I
fun.
meet Slick Rick? No. I met because Biz Markie was on. He's on Yo Gabba Gabba, so he has a lot of old school friends.
Ugh.
And we got real close on that tour. He actually hooked me up my engagement ring.
Oh.
And
What?
he he knew everybody, and so like Mike Bivens was there one day, and I'm a huge Belle Biv DeVoe
Oh,
fan.
so huge. Me too. Also,
meet-
new edition. Come on.
to meet Mike Bivens away, and like the way I met him, they were like, so it was always Biz and his cousin DJ Cool V, who actually has a show on Sway on Sway's thing.
Aw,
Whatever.
Sway used to give me rides home from the station.
See how famous Nora is, Alex? I told you, I think she's
crazy.
the most famous person.
I don't know.
What's
nearly as many
Sway's
famous
satellite
people as you
station?
guys.
Isn't there? Or is there Eminem station? I'm sorry, it's the
Ooh, I
Shade
don't know.
45. Whatever show that is. It was, Cool V has a show on there. Anyway, Cool V comes up to me and he goes, "There's a sponsor we were working for. It was called Plum Organics at the time, and they got bought out by a bigger company. But those little squeezy pouches
Yeah, I
of
remember
fruit,
those.
right?
They're
for
hella
your
good.
kid.
Yeah.
So we would get boxes of those, and we had to have them set up for the party. And so Cool V comes up and goes, "Hey man, my friend's here with this kid, and can he get like some of those little pouches?" I was like, "I'll just give you a box." He goes, "Word?" I'm like, "Word." And so I gave him a box, and those things were like what, $4 or $5 a pouch. And it
Yeah.
was like 70 in the box. So
So great.
he goes, "My friend wants to say thanks," and it's Mike Bivens.
Ah!
And he comes up and gives me like the biggest hug. He goes, "Word, I really appreciate you."
Oh my God, was he wearing like the gold chains and everything?
he was
and like his shades that had like the different colors.
He didn't have sunglasses on. He was definitely looking like a dad.
So Chris just came in and he's giving his hellos.
So Chris is also going to have his own podcast.
I'm very excited about this. I'm very excited. You better have
Not
me
as
on it.
excited as I am because I've been pushing Chris to have a podcast for some time. And
Hear me.
in our bonus bitter end content,
It's Bitter Lake now.
this is Bitter Lake. This is the free stuff. We got to ask Nora a bunch of intellectual questions. I wish you could see the way she's sitting. She looks like she's very smart right now. She's crossed up. For the bonus content, oh no, she's gonna like double fisting whiskey.
Oh yeah, no, God.
There was a part of me, so for the show, there was a little part of me that was like, hey, why don't we have the debate playing?
Ugh.
And then I thought to myself, we kind of know what those people are going to say for the most part. And I really don't want to hear Mike Bloomberg.
Lies.
I had such an aneurysm just listening to literally 15 seconds before I walked out the door to come here.
Of the debate. Who was talking?
It was
Who's on the stage, if you don't mind me
rat
asking?
face Pete Buttigieg.
Oh, that dude
who was yelling at Bernie
his
for
last
his
name?
supporters being mean. Right? Oh, you're so mean. Why don't you take a hold of your supporters? You should hold them accountable, and you have to hold yourself accountable. And
what are they saying that's so fucked up?
that Pete is a rat, which he fucking is. Like the reason
Snitch.
why we're mean to people like Pete Buttigieg online is because we fucking hate him.
Do you remember Andrew Yang
Get over
supporters? Andrew Yang
That was
supporters
like
are
last
the
week.
worst.
They're the
That was
worst.
like last
Yeah.
week.
They
Like,
were the worst.
Yeah.
And I know your boy had his back, but I'm not a.
all the
Hey,
supporters are
Yang,
the worst.
thanks for bringing UBI into the public conversation.
Sure.
I feel like I was one of the few people that read David Graeber's book, Bullshit Jobs. And I've been following Graeber actually for a few years when it comes to his UBI conversation.
Yeah.
That definitely wasn't Yang's conversation.
Yeah, no.
A classmate of ours even was talking about, or a schoolmate of ours was even talking about, he was a big Yang guy, and he had someone on his Facebook page talking about how Yang's UBI was so much better than Bernie's Green New Deal jobs plan
please.
because
I don't know what a UBI is.
Universal basic income.
it's free money. It's
Free
the
money.
$1,000.
Without any other structural changes that would actually improve people's lives.
It's trying to
better.
when a rich guy that's never held public office,
Yeah.
I don't even know if he was a class president. If he just
Probably
wants to
not.
fucking come in and go,
He was
I
no
want to be
Devon
president.
Franklin.
He wasn't even Devon Franklin. If Devon Franklin had a
Devon.
UBI plan, it would probably make more sense than Andrew
It
Yang's
involved a
UBI.
lot of God.
A lot of gods.
First, you gotta pray for it. You gotta
A lot of
pray for
praying.
the money.
A lot of praying. And then a couple of Hollywood deals.
Yeah. Pray this Hollywood.
You guys are
deal.
making sure Devon never comes on here.
Oh, come on. Nah,
I was gonna hit up Leisha.
Oh, I love
Leisha
Leisha.
Leisha's like a big time lawyer.
Yeah. Many of our classmates,
Like, is it
Shafi
Shafi?
Moeel,
Yeah.
Raha Georgiani is working for the Public Defender's Office of
Don't
Alameda
they all?
County.
Aren't they all
Those
public
two.
defenders? Shafi and there's another one from my year.
You ever just know somebody in high school that was just always, you just knew that's what they were going to
Yeah,
be
exactly.
like? Oh
They're
my God,
just-
you're gonna-
Shafi
Always
was
on their
telling me
shit.
about Iran
Yep.
in high school.
Yep.
There was a man named what did you say, Mossadegh, and she was telling me that story. Like
Yeah.
I had to remind her. I was like, "Dude, remember you told me this story in high school?" She was like,
So
"Word?"
badass. I love Raha. I'm still friends with them.
I haven't seen
Raha and
Raha.
Shafi.
I would love to. I thought Shafi stopped being a public defender.
I think she's doing private practice now as a lawyer.
I would love to get someone from the public defender's office in here because I've
Raha.
got a chance to meet Chesa,
Oh,
doing work for
Love him.
Shahid Buttar.
yeah.
And to see canceling cash bail in San
Yep.
Francisco,
Amazing.
firing motherfuckers
Yep.
first day in, like you
Yeah. Go.
kick rocks.
Yeah.
When the police shot that dude,
That's
Jamaica, I can't think of his last name. Police shot a guy. They said the dude pulled a bottle on him. That's why they shot him. And then the body cam footage showed the dude was running when they shot him.
Yep, in
So
the
Chase
back,
was like
right.
dropping the charges. They were trying to charge the dude that got shot. So when you
So
have
much
that
fuckery.
level of a shift left
Yeah.
in public
it's
office,
huge.
because I think that's the thing. That's another reason why I wanted you on the show, is because when I talk to people, especially our age, about anything political, there becomes this shut off, and they're just kind of trying to find out who's the good guy and who's the bad guy,
Right.
Because we've deduced politics down to
Yeah.
good and bad guys, like personality
Yeah.
types.
It's like
And-
how you explain something to a 4-year-old.
well, think about the 1988 race for president.
Oh, yeah.
Reagan is this bad guy.
Yep.
Was it Walter Mondale?
No, wait, I
What?
thought
No.
Reagan was out on 88.
No,
I
was
thought
that
it
Dukakis?
Oh, okay.
That's
Dukakis.
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 Yeah.
So Dukakis. So we have the Willie Horton.
Willie Horton. Yeah.
Right.
We have the Willie Horton incident during that's Bush. I'm sorry, that's Bush Senior.
Yep.
And Dukakis.
Yep.
So when you think about that, you kind of try to have this good guy, bad guy
Right.
frame.
Right.
That's how they're always trying to.
Yep.
Who's going to protect us against the Russians?
Yep. Keep
And if you look
Negroes
at-
in their place.
Think about all the presidential elections that you've seen before you became like truly
Right.
politically aware.
Right.
Right?
Yep.
Clinton v. Who did he run against? He ran against Bush Sr.
Yep.
An obvious bad guy, right?
Right.
And then
And Clinton is also a bad guy. They're all bad guys.
We know that now, but he was on Arsenio Hall playing a goddamn saxophone.
That's right.
My grandma met Bill Clinton and thought he was like the coolest cat ever.
Oh, he is.
Because
Billy cool, man.
I would, if Bill Clinton
Chris.
came in here right now, I'm sure we'd all
Billy-
be like,
No, man. I would fucking
Billy cooler than-
destroy him.
did you read
He bombed people in Iraq.
Billy
he
cooler
he
than
was,
Obama.
Yeah, he was
Would you
like
say he's cooler than Obama?
responsible
Way
for
cooler
the
than Obama.
sanctions that killed 500,000 Iraqi children.
Did you read? First of all, I agree with that. Not that you're wrong. Bill Clinton does not have a spotless record, especially on anything.
He killed welfare.
Yes,
He killed unions.
that goes back before him.
Yeah, but
You
he
can go to
built it.
McGovern for that. You know,
And his crime bills? Come on. Oh,
Biden had a big hand in that.
sure.
Biden had a big hand in Iraq.
Absolutely.
I don't think he was a great president, but we're talking about personalities and
Right.
people. We're talking
And
about
that's
politics.
what really matters.
We're talking about politics, not policy.
Right,
we're talking
right,
about
right.
politics.
Right.
His relatability to the people.
Yeah.
Barack Obama, great politician.
Mm-hmm.
Again, shitty policy.
Oh, worst. Yeah.
Reagan, shitty policy,
Yeah.
could relate to people.
Kind of. He was like
Who
a
was he
doddering
relating
idiot.
Yeah, who's he relating to?
I don't
My
know.
parents was
When,
definitely not-
when Reagan waged war on government, that really started the ball rolling to get into people's heads that big government was bad. Bill Clinton doubles down on that
Yeah.
in 92 with the era of big government is over.
Right.
So let's keep in mind that it's personalities, not policy.
Yeah.
We're getting a little smarter.
It's a what was it? A popularity contest.
Yeah, for sure. It
That's
always
what the
is,
whole
right?
thing
Yeah.
is. It's like
Yeah.
you got 27%.
Who do you want to have a beer with? Like, no matter their
Yeah.
foreign policy, who would
that
you want?
becomes,
Like,
right, and that becomes
bullshit.
a conversation.
Yeah.
Do you remember
Who would you want your daughter to date?
Yeah, exactly.
when George Bush Jr. was running for
Yeah.
the second term? It was he's the kind of guy I want to have a beer
Yeah.
with. He's in the Harold and Kumar movie.
Yeah.
So it's so atrocious.
Donald
Well, that
Trump is
wasn't
in a
him,
lot
but
of
that was-
movies.
Oh,
Donald
yeah, he
Trump's
was.
hella
Home
shit.
Alone.
Like, come on.
And that's why, and again, that's why when you can elect a guy that said you can just grab bitches by the pussy,
Ugh.
and people were like, I've said the same thing.
So, yeah,
I've grabbed a few pussies in my life.
but honestly, I can't front. I probably have said something much worse. So I'm not.
But you're not running for president.
That's right.
yet.
Dead father, the Cubs. You're not running for
Nah,
shit.
that's
Chris
that's
Riggins,
coveted.
2024.
Dead
Well,
father
it's
is a
like-
hard gig to get, baby.
When he said it though, it's not like he was joking either. That's the difference. I mean, he wasn't telling a joke. He was like, "No, yeah, I grabbed her by the pussy."
When he,
Yeah,
you know, when
because he's never been held accountable for anything
Yeah.
in his life.
when,
Ever,
when he
by
said
anyone.
it, the collective feeling, and this is just my opinion, of the country was,
Absolutely. Absolutely.
A second ago, motherfuckers was mad at Obama for having a tan suit,
Right.
fist bumping his wife, and
Yeah.
putting his feet up on the goddamn table in the Oval Office. This motherfucker's out here grabbing hoes by the pussy, and everybody's like, but it's Donald Trump, and that's his shtick.
Right.
What's the thing? If
Yeah.
he was actually grabbing hoes by the pussy, I don't think nobody would be because you pay hoes to grab them by the pussy, but just regular women, now that's an issue,
And but was 100 women have come forward like
Yes.
he literally did that shit to me.
He literally
Yeah, he's a
grabbed my
fucking
pussy.
And it's
rapist.
like they look from like young women in their 20s all the way to women in their 70s because he's been grabbing pussy
Yes.
for that long.
Pussy gets better with age.
Apparently so. He's
Ugh.
like,
The handful gets bigger.
No comments. No comment.
it's. I looked because they had the pictures of a lot of the women that have come forward. I was like, this motherfucker's been a piece of shit forever.
Yes.
And you
Yeah.
gotta admit,
Yes.
he does not discriminate. He-
No.
He's picked them all. You know?
He'll grab any. He does. Yeah, he doesn't care. He's an equal opportunity pussy grabber.
He's not,
Dirty ass
He's not
fingernails.
an attractive man. So
No.
But
I don't know what his standards.
but that's
are.
if you,
Money is
But even if he
If you
were
go back to the
attractive, he
Harvey
shouldn't be
Weinstein
grabbing
thing.
anybody.
But his wife's pretty hot. That doesn't.
Who?
Oh, she
any
hates him.
sense.
Which one?
What do you think? You think he should just grab hers and just leave it alone?
Just
That's
saying,
kinda
you gotta-
what
yeah,
the
it's
whole
like-
point of marriage
It's like,
is,
dude,
right?
shut up. You're lucky you even got her.
I don't know,
He didn't
man.
even have her really.
Disgusting.
I've
yeah.
seen her naked except for in pictures
Yeah.
in the last 10 years. She popped that baby out. I was like, I'm here for good.
Yeah. Bitch, I'm not leaving like the
No,
last
go ahead.
one.
Do what you got to do, my nigga. I'm good. I'm good. I'm, just gonna
I'm
sit
not
up in
going
this-
anywhere.
Just let
I'm
me-
riding this shit all the way out.
Oh, you cheating? That's cool. That's cool. Just make sure my alimony.
I give no fucks. Not a one.
She don't care.
So gross.
Because you know that she's got to live with all the horrible shit that he says.
Yes.
Yeah.
Ah, that's the worst part.
And it rolls off on her sometimes, and she's like, ugh.
It's like
Yeah.
when my kids tell me to stop saying stuff. They be like, Dad, stop saying stuff because people
They know who we
know.
are.
Yeah, they know who we are. And I'm like, oh.
Your daddy made fun of me at the Copper Spoon, called me a buck-toothed
Oh,
motherfucker.
I had them at the show yesterday, and I was clowning the fuck out of them. I was roasting my kids, and then somebody said, "Oh, I said, bitch, don't you even jump in this." Like I was like, my kids jumped on her too. They was like, "Yeah, lady." I was like, "See, we got a relationship. This is how we
What
communicate."
the fuck are your kids doing at a comedy club?
They're not a comedy club. I do my show at the Copper Spoon. It's a restaurant.
Oh, okay.
So
It's a
therefore, it's
great
all-
restaurant.
I'm thinking
Yeah.
I'm thinking his
So-
kids are at fucking
So as
Tommy
long as-
T's or some
Oh no, I
shit.
wouldn't take my worst enemy there. No, they're at the Copper Spoon because it's a restaurant and they help serve food sometimes to people.
Do you know Tarek?
Which one's Tarek?
Tarek Kazale. He's got
Yeah.
I know
you're talking about.
That's Eccentric, my friend Eccentric.
Oh, the rapper.
Who I
no,
played
Tarek.
on a couple.
So
tracks
Nora
with.
also is a world famous cellist. I did not know this.
Not world famous and hardly
Pretty
a cellist
famous.
anymore.
I mean, apparently on all the hot SoundCloud rappers shit,
Oh,
she
yeah.
played cello
Hot.
on.
Oh yeah.
Like the hotter SoundCloud rapper you are.
Yeah.
The more face tattoos you have, Nora's probably played cello on your record.
Wow.
Because I said, Nora, do you know where I'm at? Soundwave Studios. I was giving her the address. She goes, I've been to Soundwave. I was like, oh, what were you here for? She goes, I used to come there all the time and practice and do some recording with people. I'm like, who the fuck do you know?
She walked away from a life of music.
That's right.
Who could do
I
that?
did.
That's
Wow.
I don't know.
That's how lucky we are that she is fighting the good fight. That she walked away from all the cocaine and parties.
I take a shit ton of antidepressants though.
All
Come
the-
on.
Ooh,
By the handful, you
how much
guys.
you selling those for?
Oh, I'll give them to you for free.
No, I
No.
goes against my program.
No, I'm a communist. I have socialized medicine at heart. So if you need some shit,
So we're still in. We're breaking into
yours.
I thought
pharmacies.
you were gonna say I'm a communist. So that means I do copious amounts of hard drugs.
I wish.
And don't pay.
And don't pay for
I know a
it.
lot of communists
Nah,
in the
just
drug
like-
life.
Prescription.
I met a lot of cokehead communists.
Sertraline.
So I
Cut
read-
that out,
I'm
please.
reading-
Cut that out. I could be implicated in some horrible shit.
I'm reading Richard Wolff's book about understanding socialism.
He's amazing.
And how do you feel about his take on socialism v communism? The explanations.
Wow, that's a very nuanced question.
Or do you not really want to get into that at the moment?
I'm still, I'm still trying to figure it out myself. I identify as a communist.
Really?
Just because I like the color red.
Yeah.
And also, I think that the fathers of the communist
I
movement.
know what's happening.
Uh-oh.
You get a hoodie.
I do get a hoodie. It's red. It says this is not a war. This is a revolution. Thank you. Oh my God, I'm gonna swim in this.
and our logo is a dollar
that's
sign with
amazing.
upside down cross.
That is our
I love
band.
that.
It's a Bitter Lake hoodie.
I don't get a hoodie.
I love that. I got a hoodie.
Here, let me see if I can
I know,
find a
right?
small.
Oh, if you got a small, that'd be awesome.
You need a hoodie?
I do need a hoodie. What size is this?
Medium?
Yeah, my chest.
There you go.
I'm got no belly now.
Chris just stole my hoodie.
I lost weight.
You
Chris
look
lost
great.
hella weight.
You
I
look
get to wear
great.
Mediums now.
You look great.
That's why we should be like telecasting this live because I'm so proud of Chris's weight
Well, I
loss.
have to describe
You and
what you're
Jabir
doing.
together.
Well, Jabir lost it because he got sick.
Yeah.
He
But
couldn't
also,
move.
he was working a long time for that.
Yeah, well, he's still fat, so. He's,
I mean, he's also like 6'8".
yeah, that's
He's
true. He is a lot
a
taller, so
large
there's
man.
a lot more fat to
Yeah.
distribute around the body. No, it's a scientific thing.
More ass.
Like if Alex, you gain weight, it's going to be a
it's
lot more weight than if I
noticeable.
gain weight, but it's
Yeah,
going to look a lot different on you than it's going to look on me. Like
Yeah.
I look round and bouncy.
I love working out with Alex. By the way, when we were on this last tour, me and Alex got Alex and Todd all got Planet Fitness memberships,
Oh, nice.
so we could go work out all over the country. And
Smartest thing we ever did
That's
on tour.
great.
And so every so often, because I have a workout plan that I was doing on the tour,
Yeah.
because I'm extremely insecure. Fucking, let's just be honest.
That's 50% of the motivation right there.
Insecure, and I'm scared of diabetes.
There you go. That's the other
fear
50%.
Oh, dude, that's fucking
Two
why.
biggest driving forces.
This is why
behind
I
anything.
don't exercise.
They're like,
I don't,
why is Jay running so
I don't
hard?
want to go
That motherfucker,
toward
I
there.
gotta fit in these little ass pants, motherfucker. That's why. I'm a fucking man.
We gotta start. Or I know you've been going. I gotta start going back again.
So we were going to the gym, and every so often I'd like convince one of the dudes to work out with me. It would be so funny because I was like, "Is this shit over yet?"
Jason goes hard. It's intense.
Wow.
Jason goes hard. Yeah.
Wow.
How many
Yeah.
reps are you doing?
It
How much you
depended on-
lift, bro?
If you want to really
It's
sweat,
not.
you work out.
Yeah,
with
if
Jason.
you want to like lean out,
Yeah.
I'm not trying to get hella buff.
Are you doing cardio?
Even
Yeah.
like his stretches, he's like, "Come on, man, we'll go stretch over here," and like the stretches are intense. I'm like sweating my ass
Are
off.
we done yet?
Well, when you grow
I
up,
just kissed my own ass.
when you grow up and want to come to 24 Fitness, let me know.
I'm never going to 24 Fitness.
I'll be over there
That's a
waiting for you.
meat market.
You go to the one in El Cerrito, huh?
I do go to the one
All
in
right.
Cerrito. I
Zach
like
goes
it.
there too.
But you know, it's easy to work out there because there's a lot of old ladies, so I'm not spending
Yeah.
all the time
Go to
looking at
Planet
ass.
Fitness.
And
Number
they have a
old
pool.
motherfuckers at Planet Fitness.
Nah, not the same kind of old motherfuckers. Like, it's kind of old motherfuckers you wonder, is their Social Security about to run out next week? Instead of like at 24, it's like, this old motherfucker got a pension.
Yeah, no, they got a little bit more money.
So if
Because
I-
24 is more
If I
expensive.
do make an old love connection, at least I know she can take care of me.
Damn.
Ooh.
I'd plan it. You're not meeting nobody at
That's
Planet
some
Fitness.
strategic thinking there, Chris.
I'm like, my next marriage is going to be for money. I've realized that. I don't know.
They don't even beat around the bush.
I can't do it. Like, I even talked to my girlfriend about it. I said, if we're about to get married, if we don't each have $100,000, then we're gonna look to marry somebody who does have $100,000, and we'll still be together. We're just gonna marry that person, you know. And you know, it's a
That's great. I love
a
it.
rough plan right now.
I mean, it could work though.
It could work.
I have
That's why I'm
faith in
working
you.
out, because I couldn't be a fat gigolo. I'm not big enough. If I was taller, I could be a big daddy gigolo.
You're looking
like,
for the
oh.
box of hoodies.
Yeah.
I'll help you find them after this. They're
So
around.
we were talking about before you got here. We were asking Nora about her wheelhouse. This means wheelhouse. It doesn't mean butt fucking.
Jesus.
That
Miming
doesn't
right
mean-
now.
Oh, you're doing that. You're doing
Lord.
That means fisting.
Jason was just fisting.
Just fisting the guest, huh?
the shit out of
Fuck,
That's
you
sign
give-
language for fish.
You give her a
Christ.
sweatshirt first and you fist her?
Nora.
I feel so uncomfortable right now.
Fucking the shit out of it. You want to know the truth?
What is being talked about right now?
Good Lord. I came here under very false pretenses.
Me too.
Let's go, Chris.
I was saying Nora was explaining Israel, Palestine, Zionism, the BDS movement, and one thing I definitely wanted to talk about a little bit before. How much time have we been gone an hour yet?
Just about an hour. Yeah. We're good. We can keep going.
One thing I definitely want to talk about is Mike Bloomberg.
Ugh,
Because I think Mike Bloomberg
God.
is a threat to democracy.
absolutely.
He's Donald Trump if Donald Trump was smart.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes. He's Donald Trump in like a
Trump.
better fitting suit.
Donald Trump with a
That's it.
plan.
It's disgusting. All these fucking liberals in the Bay Area, like
Oh my God, they're killing me.
they're just like, well, he's the only one who can beat Trump. Oh, really? Oh, really? So no one else's problem? Like, you're just a selfish asshole, basically. Like
I
a
will-
conservative, selfish asshole
I
who wants
will-
things to remain
yeah.
exactly the same, but just have like a better decorum.
But like this, if you guys put up the money, I will kill Trump. Just make sure I'm able to get out the country. 'Cause
Somebody was
Bloomberg is
posting
Trump.
on some Facebook. They were like, "Hey, he's coming to the Bay, y'all," or some shit like that. Because he was coming to the Bay. They were like, "Who? Yeah."
The Bay's not like it used to be. It's not the old Oakland that would have handled that.
Before we finish this discussion, we're going to have this discussion in the bitter end, which is the bonus content end. We've been starting to do more content now on this show. There is a small fee for extra content, but that extra content enables us to
Get you that money.
keep this whole thing going. Chris Riggins has a podcast coming up
Yes.
that we're going to do. Are we going to call it that name? Is that the name we're going to give it?
I think so. I think I like.
Fameless.
I
I think
love
it's gonna be
that.
Chris Riggins Fameless.
Chris Riggins Fameless.
Oh.
That's great, dude.
I'm hella
Beautiful.
stoked for that.
Beautiful.
Gonna be a lot of fameless people.
Chris, real quick before we go, what is the podcast? What do you envision the podcast being?
It's like TMZ World Star and the Washington Post all rolled into one.
It sounds like a fever dream.
With a little bit of Fox News sprinkled on top.
Just lies. Just black lies.
I think that's what we need to do. We need to fight fire with fire. Stop trying to tell Donald Trump he's lying and just make up better lies. Like, yo, Donald Trump fucks monkeys.
That's Bloomberg's entire strategy.
Yeah, I think we're going about it the wrong way. We just need to all make up lies about him that are so great. He will spend so much time defending these fake lies that he won't have time to run. And he'll fuck it up. I'm just saying, like, you know, I personally think I saw him fuck a monkey. So
it's worth a try.
Monkey fucker.
Monkey fucker. He's a monkey, not just a monkey fucker.
I definitely know he fucked a monkey.
Those monkeys didn't give him consent either. So he's a monkey rapist. So
he's like the Harvey
word.
Weinstein of
That's like
monkey
the
rape.
worst kind.
Put it on the internet. Donald Trump is a monkey rapist.
Hashtag monkey too.
And
Michael
Bloomberg
give a
filmed
Bitter
it.
Lake shirt to the person that makes a Donald Trump fucking a monkey meme. I will give a Bitter Lake shirt.
With Mike Bloomberg filming it for the monkey rape.
Yes.
You
hear that, internet?
You hear that, internet? I'm fucking giving out shit.
That's gonna be funny.
I wish there was more shit I could get. I'm looking around the room like, what else can you fucking get?
Give out some autographed drumsticks.
No
By
one.
who? By me?
Yeah, by Alex.
Sure, I guess.
Alex, yeah. You guys don't know Alex?
Alex
drum.
Miller, all beef, no filler. That's what I say every time.
That's really sweet.
Isn't it?
Yeah, I think so.
I love
like
Alex.
it.
He's my best friend. Hey, so thank you very much. Please sign up for the Bitter End. You can hear the rest of this conversation because we're about to get raw
Breakdown
on
monkey
Michael
fucking.
Bloomberg.
Yikes.
I'm going to talk about why I think people like Claude Anderson are fucking problematic in the black community.
Who?
That dude that all these.
I was
niggas love.
saying that as a way to show you how much of the black community he's a part of. Who?
Oh, he's like a thing.
To which black community?
Niggas.
Maybe I not a nigger.
All right, here's a song you'll be hearing sooner than later.